Oh, you didn't think I was going to make it, did you? I'm here. Boy, it's late. I forgot. I needed to do a video today. I totally forgot. I am in the middle of a new idea with some people. It distracted me. Okay, tonight was Sophia Code. It was our group Zoom, and we were discussing Mother Mary. And before I realized I got to do video, I really don't. I could have done it tomorrow, but I'm like, no, I'm going to do tonight. Well, this is fresh in my mind. Uh, I have a picture, an AI generated picture of Mother Mary that's been up on my computer all week. It's one of these, it's a great picture. I think it encapsulates her energy. I hope it does, because I love the picture. I should show you the picture. Maybe I will in a minute. Let me tell this story first. I've had this picture up. She sort of stares you. You know how it is? You look from here, you look from here, and her eyes follow you. You know how sometimes pictures or paintings will do that? That's how it is. It's like, ooh, no matter where I am, she's staring me down, which I love. You want your ascended masters to be staring you down. At least I do. It's like, no, don't let me look away. Stare me down until I learn all the lessons and undo all the shit that's got to be undone. Anyway, I'm like, okay, thank you, Mother Mary, for a week of unbelievable insights and wisdom and experience. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm like, all right, Mary Magdalene, it's your week. Mary Magdalene comes after Mother Mary. So I bring up Mary Magdalene's picture, another AI image I generated that I think sort of encapsulates her energy. Who knows? Who knows if it does? But the way that at least the way I feel the two of these people, these pictures encapsulate them. Let me see if I can share this image. We want this. Yeah. Okay. There are the pictures. Mary Magdalene is on the left and Mother Mary on the right. So the woman on the right should appear a bit older than the woman on the left. At any rate, these two pictures seem to encapsulate. Hopefully you can see them. If I move them together a little bit more, hopefully they aren't cut off in the video. At any rate, those are the pictures that I'm looking at. When I brought Mary Magdalene up and I left Mother Mary up, I was like, ooh, now they're both staring at me. Ugh. So I'm just going to leave them up here. They're going to stare at me while I do this video. All right, Mother Mary. I told my Sophia Code group last week, I'm like, well, every time, this is fourth time through Sophia Code, third time facilitating a group. And I'm like, I've never gotten through Mother Mary without completely losing it. I don't know what it is about her, uh, but I just break down. The first time I did it, I couldn't read her initiation out loud without stopping every two or three words. I was just in agony. No idea why. Second time I did it, same thing happened. It wasn't as dramatic as the first time, but it was rough. I'm like, what the heck? All the rest of them, I could get through it. Mother Mary, just complete breakdown. Third time I did it, same thing. So I said to my group last week, I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to get through it this time. I I have never understood why I have this breakdown with Mother Mary. Uh, I just know I do. So I'm like, we'll see what happens. On Thursday, I did the chapter. I always do them on Thursdays so I can time them for everybody and then start to sort of give insights and whatnot. Not spoilers, but insights for them as they do the initiation later in the week. I actually got through it. I did not have a complete breakdown. I mean, the first time I did it, I could barely speak 2 words before I just lost it and had to recover. Take me like 45 seconds to recover. Then I could speak 2 more words. Nope, I got through it this time. However, here's why I laugh about this. She's like, okay, I'll give you a break. I'll let you get through it this time. But then we're going to spend the rest of the week doing stuff and you're going to have a breakdown. So that's exactly what happened. I have some other channeled material, other people who've channeled Mother Mary. And so I started to listen to those sessions and processes. Sometimes she's just speaking, telling her story, conveying wisdom, whatever. But sometimes she's doing an energetic process, like walking you through in one particular recording. She's walking you through the release of stuff that gets stuck in the heart chakra. Uh, I should have known better. It was like an hour and 15 minutes long. And she's like, we're just going to do this. I'm just going to talk so that your mind has something to do, something to listen to. But I don't need to talk. We're doing this all on the energy level. She's like, we're getting into the heart. We're gonna get back to all of these places. You know, she's just sort of describing the places where we would have suppressed and trapped a lot of energy. Lost it the whole way through. Lost it. Was that the first thing I did? I want to say that's the second time it happened. I forget what day that was. The point is, whether I was just talking to her, like a lot of times I'll just talk to whoever's week it is, Isis, Hathor, Green Tara, whomever. I'll just talk to them outright throughout the week. I don't live with anybody. So I'm walking around my house talking to these mentors. I'm like, hey, this is the deal. I know that you're about this chakra. I know you're helping us release this and that. And Mother Mary is a lot about in Hathor's chapter. If you've ever done Sophia Code, you know that she has a bit. She's got a section in Hathor's chapter about the power of your voice. And she talks a lot about in her time, they had language that was representative of vibration. So you could utter a tone, a syllable sound like tar. Green Tara says that tar in her name is about something to do with trees. I've already forgotten. I just remember it's about tree. But Mother Mary in Hathor's chapter is explaining when you utter these syllables, you are casting spells because those syllables, the sounds of those syllables that you make are casting a vibration into creation, right? So when you get to Mother Mary's chapter, she's all about opening the heart so that you can speak from the heart. You gather the energy. You commune with the divine through your heart. But you take that desire to create. You bring all of that up through the lower chakras, through the heart, and of course up through the throat chakra by then speaking that truth into creation. Where was I going with all this? Yeah. So I'm having these conversations all week with Mother Mary. It started Thursday. after I lost it. No, I didn't lose it on Thursday. I'm like, I made it through. Didn't have a complete breakdown doing her initiation. I'm like, okay, we've made progress. But then I start talking to her, and I don't know if I was talking to her later Thursday night or if it started on Friday. I didn't know. I was just talking to her about whatever was on my mind in terms of these things that they help us process. Oh, I know what I was talking to her about. I'll get to it. Of course, then I start losing it. I'll just sit at my computer and I'm talking to them. Like I listen to some short something and then I'll contemplate it and I'll talk to them about it. Then I lose it. Okay, the short of this long story is I made it through the initiation, but then all the rest of the week, every single day, as I would work with her, nope, you're gonna lose it. I lost it. I lost it. This emotion is coming out of nowhere. Now, a lot of times I will process and transmute emotion that is not mine. It's the collective. I already know I do this. It's no big mystery to me. I know when it's not my emotion. I know it is. If you do this, you know. But this emotion through Mother Mary's week was mine. And I'm like, where is this coming from? What is this about? Uh, One could assume that when she works with you, they're both staring at me. They're listening to me speak, but they're ooh, dead stare. One could assume that she is working to release more stuff that prevents you from opening that heart wide open. That is the key. That is the whole point. This is the gateway. I was explaining to my group tonight. You open that when you open the heart, that's your gateway to all of greater consciousness. It's one of these giant milestones that separates your beginner path, oops, with your advanced path. Everything up to the point of opening the heart is experience that will make you realize there's something more. And you'll probably bump up against this like ceiling of experience. You'll butt your head against it a number of times. You're like, there's got to be something more to life than this. There's got to be something more to life. But if you really believe it's just this grinding, circular, repetitious, repeat the same lesson kind of thing, if you think that's all life is, work to the bone, maybe have a family, maybe buy a few nice things for yourself. If you think that's what life is about, bumping up against that limit is going to suck after a while. You're going to be like, no, there's got to be something more. It's designed to be that way. It's designed to make you say, there has to be something more. Okay. And when you get tired of saying that to yourself, you're like, screw this. I'm going to stop doing all this shit I've been doing for lifetimes, repeat, repeat, repeat. And I'm going to find the way through this ceiling. Okay. It's the heart. Oops, spoiler. It's the heart. It's opening the heart. Um, so this is one of Mother Mary's probably most prominent task, at least in the Sophia Code. She is working in that heart chakra to open it all the way. Now, she visited me almost 3 years ago now to do this kind of thing with me. I had no idea what was going on. I had finished Aaron Abke's 4D university content about 5 months prior to that. No, 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 no. I had just started it. I had just started it. I was about 2 months into it. Um, and if you know anything about 4DU, holy smokes, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely worth it. Um, at any rate, Mother Mary shows up. This was April of 2023, I think. April or May of 2023. I was 2 months into 4D University. I didn't know Mother Mary was there that morning, but I knew two Syrian white lions were. I'm sorry for you people who've heard this story 100 times. Two Syrian white lions are with me. I knew it when I woke up. Like I wasn't like completely aware of it. I knew I wasn't alone. And when I walked downstairs and I got my coffee and I went into the living room to sit down and do whatever it was I did in the morning at that time, then I saw them. I saw them standing in my living room. They weren't looking at me. They were looking straight forward, just like the guards at Buckingham Palace. They're just standing there like sentinels, staring forward. I'm like, oh, who are you guys? I had no clue. I'm like, these are lion beings. They are dressed in their garb and they're doing their lion thing and they're in my living room. I could see them with my eyes wide open. Was that the first? This was the first time I had that experience. I could see with my third eye without having to close my eyes. So I'm like, huh, okay, I better go into meditation, right? Aaron Abke's courses are teaching you to do meditation. I better go into meditation and find out what these lions want. That's when Mother Mary, that's when I could see Mother Mary. I didn't see her with my eyes open. I only saw her once I went into meditation. And I knew it was her because she showed me the symbology of the nativity scene, right? She and Jesus and Joseph. Um, and so I'm like, oh, okay, Mother Mary's here, which was for me, that wasn't usual. I'm not sure I had ever been aware of her present with me like that before. But I'm like, okay, Mother Mary, hello, and your two lions. What are you doing here? Okay, the short of this long story is over 2 days, after the first day, I knew that there was something that needed to happen on a second day. I just knew it. So I sat down the second day and did whatever too. I don't remember now what happened on the first day and the second day, but on one of those days, she showed me a picture of herself with a big cauldron and she was doing this. And then she sort of looks at me and laughs. I'm like, okay, so you're up to something. That's the way I interpreted that. She's like, I'm brewing something. Shortly thereafter, or again, I got to look at my journal notes to see exactly what happened on what days, but then there was this moment. There was a moment that happened where I witnessed my heart explode open in like a ball of flames. And when the light dissipated, what I saw around my heart was a ring of flames, and there were what I think are Hebrew letters in the flames. Now, there's something called fire letters. I'm aware of them. I don't know what they are. I just assumed, well, these must be fire letters because they're in fire. It was a ring of flames around my heart, and they had a distinct color. I think they were white with then gold and red tips, or it might have been the other way around. No, that's correct. I think that's correct. It was just distinct color, but they were white flames. There, there was a pyramid, a an emerald pyramid, and I think an obsidian pyramid. There was a pyramid above and a pyramid below. That was something going on with that, and I could see my Merkaba. I could see it, and it was spinning. Um, so I watched that for like 2 days in meditation. Yep, those pyramids are still there. The flames are there. The fire letters are there. The Merkaba is there. There was. a whole other event on the opposite day, the other day, where I did a light body upgrade. I won't get into it. But anyway, Mother Mary came to do this heart opening thing for me, with me. I don't know. Later in a session with Will and Allison, it was explained this was scheduled and that the Syrians were involved for some reason. They needed to be involved. The bottom line is she came to do this heart work, to do this heart opening thing. So it's been open. Oh, the other part was too, after it was all said and done, when I was sort of working in meditation with my heart, it was this like open window to the cosmos. If I look through it, I see the stars. Now, apparently, that's a thing. Your heart is a portal that allows you to travel all over consciousness. I haven't really monkeyed with that a lot because I'm busy writing code. Some people will be like, "Oh my gosh, why are you not working with that?" Yeah, not exactly that type of person, but it's there. I know it's there. I suppose I should get around to that. Maybe I should do that now. At any rate, Mother Mary, working with heart. So it's been almost 3 years now. And each time I do this Sophia Code with her, I know she's working with me all the time, but we get this, I'm focused. I'm focused with her for that 1 week I'm doing it. And she goes in there and I guarantee you what she's doing is poking stuff. She's like, okay, time for this to be dredged up. Let's get that. Let's get this. That's what's going on. And every time I sort of surrender to that and let her work with me in that way, she pokes something else and I lose it. Now, what is it? What is it? I've done this kind of work for years. I've been at this for 30 years and I don't back away from anything. I'm like, if there's something, energy work, shadow work, healing work I got to do, I'm going to do it. But I'm maybe like some of you, I'm kind of feelings come second. We got to get things done. This is the way I this is the way I was raised. This is the way I think my generation was raised. It's like it's fine that you have feelings, but don't make them a priority. Get stuff done. Now, I'm a super feely, super sensitive, super empathetic person. Don't get me wrong. I'm aware of my feelings. But this training trains you to ignore it. So there's this sort of challenge to truly pay attention to how you're feeling. When I was little, I I remember being very happy, joyful, joyful. And I really believe now it was because these ascended ones were with me and I was aware of them. I was in relationship with them. I knew they were with me. I wish my mom was still alive because I would ask her now if I ever talked about them or talked about like invisible friends. She never said anything about that. But she knew there was something about me that was different. And it had to do with this whole spiritual thing. She said things later on when I got older that led me to believe she knew something. She never said a lot about it though. At any rate, I just remember being absolutely joyful. And then something happened. I lost something as a kid. I knew I had lost something, but I didn't know what it was. I don't know when, I don't know how old I was when I first started to realize I don't have this thing that I used to have. And I didn't interpret it that way either. But I knew something was missing. And at some point, when I got old enough to realize or to sort of put it together, I thought that I was searching for past life friends or past life people because I started to feel like foreign to the people that I lived with, like foreign to like my family was foreign to me. My friends were foreign to me. Everybody around me was they were not my people. And I literally said that. I know I've told this story. Many of you have heard it. But we're in Mother Mary week and this is what it's about. So I had lived, again, this probably happened around the time that I went to school because school trains the mind, right? It works from head up. The rest of you doesn't matter. Pay attention, process with your mind, no outbursts, no jumping around, no emotion, think, right? It cuts you off from your heart. And your heart is where you commune with greater consciousness. So I'm just guessing this is what happened. I actually have a session tomorrow with Will and Allison, and I'm just going to talk to Mother Mary. I'm going to ask her what the hell happened. And I think I'm right. We'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I got to school age. I got cut off from my heart and I couldn't commune with them anymore. And I probably remembered them to a certain extent for a while. And so I didn't feel the loss. But at some point, when I was pushed all the way into my head, then I really lost them. Again, this is my theory. Then I spent 40 years, 50 years. I spent 50. I am almost 57. I'm almost 57. I can't even believe I'm saying that. When did that happen? I've spent 50 years in sort of a suspended paralysis. Like I can't live until I find my people. At some point, you're like, you sort of give up. You're like, maybe I'm crazy. I've never thought that. I've never thought that. I'm sure some people have thought that about me, but I was certain. I was certain that I had lost some people or I needed to find these people. Where are my people? Because what I see as my life, this is not real. This is not my life. These are not my people. Man, I hope some of you have had this experience. I would love, 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 love to talk to somebody who's had this experience. I spent 50 years trying to live like a normal human, but really not able to like ground myself and make something of it because I was just paralyzed about solving this quandary. Where are these people? I met a lot of past life people, a ton of them. In fact, most people who came into my life were past life people. And I'd say, maybe this is who I've been searching for all my life. After some time, you're like, nope, 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 it's still here. This nagging feeling is still here. So it wasn't until I did Sophia Code 18 months ago for the first time, and then a year ago, the second time, where it started to hit me. It really wasn't until maybe a few months ago that I put it all together. These These two are still staring at me. Ooh, I put it together. These, divine feminine, these are the ones that I felt I had lost. I got them back. I finally found them. They had never gone. This is the interesting thing about this. It's always the interesting thing about spiritual work. They had never left me. They weren't gone. They were with me the whole time. That's how I could live this sort of introverted, isolated life and never feel lonely. I never suffered from this like isolated introvert problem that some people have. I never felt alone. And it's because they were with me. I just didn't know it. And even though I spent like 30 years in spiritual communities, all these other women who are like talking to Mother Mary all the time, I'm like, that's nice. That's, that is not my experience, but that's nice for you, right? It all sounded so fluffy. I wish someone could have given me keywords about what had happened to me. I would have put it together a lot sooner, a lot sooner. So then it begs the question, why? Why didn't I put it together sooner? Why did I have to live this many years? Like realistically, the best years of your life, why did I have to live them in suspension and paralysis over this? It's every time I look at them and they're still staring at me, they're listening so intensely. Thank you, Maria, Mary. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for supporting me, loving me, never, oh, I'm going to cry, never leaving me. Why did I orchestrate a life of feeling abandonment? This is the key word. In some of these recordings that I listened to this week with Mother Mary, she talks about this abandonment in her heart clearing process. That's what she's doing. She's like, abandonment, abandonment. I'm like, that's what happened. I felt I was abandoned. This is a huge, huge, for those of you who resonate with the divine feminine and particularly divine mother. If you have Cancer in your natal chart, and I'm not talking tropical or sidereal astrology, I'm talking real sky astrology. If you have placements in Cancer, so if you're a Leo, you actually may be a sun sign Cancer. If you've got, like I had Leo rising, and so for real sky, what was really going on when I was born is that Cancer was rising, not Leo. That was a big, big eye opener for me to not have Leo rising, to have Cancer rising. That is Divine Mother. And if you've studied Hellenistic astrology, the ascendant colors all the houses in the chart. It colors the entire chart. It basically overlays everything with the character of that rising sign. Divine Mother, my entire life is about Divine Mother. And what's the shadow of Divine Mother? It's abandonment. I lived 50 years feeling that loss. And for a reason, we do this. This is why we do this. In my group tonight, we talked about this. One woman had dealt with a chronic illness that's very difficult to heal from, and she healed from it. And she learned a ton having to go through that process. Many people who survive chronic illness or cancer, things like this, many of them, if they survive successfully, will tell amazing, eye-opening stories about what they learned. They never felt more alive now. They never feel more alive than they do now because of what they had to process as a result of having this chronic illness. And it made me think of Joe Dispenza too. Why on earth would you orchestrate really disastrous situations, whether it's emotional or physical? Why would you go through these things? Well, you can certainly speak from experience when you do. You become, you don't need any certification. I'm not going to rant, not going to rant. You don't need a certification from any external anybody. You lived it. Let me tell you, who's more who's more authentic? Who do you resonate with more? Somebody who says, "Oh, I've studied this for years," or somebody who says, "I lived it and I beat it." The person who went through it has something unbelievably value to share with you. Okay, so I'm sitting here thinking, why did I live all these years? I felt like I wasted a lifetime paralyzed by this sense of abandonment. And I didn't even know who abandoned me. I had, it's really kind of funny. Honestly, it's funny. If I could tell you how painful it was, I mean, I could lose it right now if I let myself go there. How painful it was to live all that time trying. It's like you try to put a step forward, but you're carrying the weight of this thing. It's like I can't move forward until I can drop this thing that is weighing me down. That's how this shit works. Every single step of my life. Granted, there are things, we can all say this. There's always somebody out there who's carrying a bigger weight, a more traumatic weight. They have reasons for it. Don't diminish. Do not look at anybody else and diminish the weight that you carried. 55 years of trying to put one foot forward, and I couldn't. I'm still struggling with the aftermath of that. It's healing. Okay, the point of this, the point, the point of this is, this explains why there's still stuff. Maria, Mother Mary, keeps poking at this wound, and more of it keeps coming up. Every time I give her my attention, she's like, "Oh, hey, poke." I'm glad you're finally paying attention to me after another how many months, right? Maria, I love you to death. You keep poking that. You keep poking me in the heart. More of it comes out. It's all going to come out until I'm done with this. I don't know how much is left there. The point, the point is, the heart is super important. It's your gateway. It is the gateway to all those greater levels of consciousness. She is going to be the one to help you open it and to open it all the way. So whatever happened 3 years ago, that was just the start. It was that was quite a bang. It literally was a bang. It was like an explosion. And there was this big, huge burst of light. And then all these flames and fire ladders and pyramids and the Merkaba. I don't know. That was probably the initial unlocking. And it's been progressive, opening. She says it opens like a rose. It's been progressive opening ever since. One of these days, there will be nothing left to poke. She's going to have to find something else to do with me. I'm not going to let her go. What an amazing presence she is. They all are. They all are. I could say that about all of them, but I'm closing Mother Mary's week. Another unbelievable experience with her. This is my hope. This is why I facilitate Sophia Code groups and why I love it so much. I increasingly love it because my own experience is growing deeper and deeper, unbelievably deeper. It just, it's like peeling back layers of the onion, yes, but I explained it tonight in my group that it's actually more like a spiral. And every time you do it, we're working with the same mentors, but every time I do it, my experience of them is greater and greater and greater and greater. So it's a spiral upwards and outwards, right? I cannot say enough about this process. I, I probably could say, I could probably talk about it for the next 10, 12 hours. All night long, I could talk about this. It is so good. It's so good. And I wish I could give, some people do it, some people try to do it, and it's not for them, or they're not resonating with it yet. Some people might come back to it and resonate and not understand why they didn't, 10 months ago or whatever, or 2 years ago. It doesn't matter. At some point, if you do, great. Some people resonate right off the bat. I didn't not resonate the first time I did it, but I was kind of like, what just happened? I'm sensitive enough to know something happened. And I had a number of experiences that first time, but I was like clueless, didn't remember a word I read, could barely remember who the mentors were. Did it a second time, had a completely different experience with a completely different group of people. That group was super chatty and fiery, and they were great, but completely different than the first group, which was more heady, more intellectual, more contemplative. Um, Experiences were different. Third time, completely different group, completely different experience. Fourth time, once again, completely different group. I wish I could give everybody a secret word to sort of unlock this holy smokes experience. It's not the way it works. You can't do that. It didn't resonate like this for me the first time, and I don't even know why. I thought about doing it a second time, let alone facilitating a group. I can't remember now. What harebrained idea did I have in my head that I should do that? Then over the solstice, I woke up one morning. I'm like, this is my thing. This is what I do. And I started talking to this group that had formed almost 2 months earlier in October. I'm like, we are getting close. We are within 3 weeks of doing this. I am super excited about this. You only have your own experience. This has been the most profound, unbelievable experience. And you get to a point where the context you have is not available to anybody who isn't standing in the exact same place you are. I hate that. I hate that because I want to hold up the thing and say, This is available to you, but people can't see it. You can't see it until ex you have to experience it. It's an experience. It's not something you can tell people. I can tell them you can have this experience, but they have no context. Man, it is the way. It is the way. They're still staring at me. I love it. I love it. I'm with my people. I want to put my picture right in the middle there and have the same dead stare look on my face. I want to be like them. Okay, I'll wrap this up. I'll leave you with something that Mary said, Mother Mary, in one of her recordings. Somewhere in there, she made a comment. I forget what the context was, but she made the comment about how she and many of the other ascended masters are beginning to take a step back, sort of put a little separation between them and us. She made the comment, "You are never alone. Never. Never ever. They are always present." And especially she is. This was her choice, her role to play was to be ever present with humanity. I mean, very present, really present. That's why she's revered outside of Christianity as well. But she said, we're taking a step back and putting a little space in between you and us. And it's not because we aren't loving you as much as we ever have. It's because some of you who have come to do what we did, you get a little dependent on us and you aren't moving in the direction that you have agreed to move. In other words, she's saying, you're still looking at us as these kind of external models when you yourself came to be this model now, in this era, in this time. They are our mentors and our support system, but there are some of us who came to be like them. You probably are one of those people. If you have listened to me this whole time, you are probably one of those people. You probably signed up. You said, yes, I can do that. Yes, I'm ready. I can do that. So Mary's saying, hey, I love you. I love you beyond measure. That's not it. I'm going to shove you out of the nest a little bit, and I need you to start moving toward doing this. So if you've listened to this far, let that be the message. There's your prize. They're kicking you out of the nest a bit. It's time. But if you're like me, it's like, I'm ready. I'm ready now. Some people might not quite be ready. You might not feel ready. That's okay. It's probably not time yet. You're probably still doing the finishing touches. But some of you, if you're like me, you woke up one day and you're like, I have clarity. There's no fuzzy here anymore. This is my way. I'm going to do this now. Uh, if you're like me, it's time to start doing it. And you don't get fussed up about how it's going to look. I don't know. Still haven't cleaned up my table. I don't care. I don't care. That's not important. If you can't watch a video with a messy table in the background, I'm not for you. That's okay. I'm for somebody else. Eventually, I will clean up the table. I'm getting to it. I got to heal my abandonment issues first. Oh man, it's a good thing I can laugh about this shit. Okay, the Marys are still staring at me. I'm gonna let you go. Hopefully, this was valuable. I promise to try not to miss a Wednesday. I really mean and intend to do this. And hopefully, these messages get better as I go. Blah, blah, blah. Bless you all. Have a good night, and I will see you in the next one.